Hi, this is Adyaman Arsappa, an enterprise asset management consultant based out of San Francisco Bay Area. And I'll be sharing my 2 decade long experience in this sector, consulting a wide range of asset intensive industries. And I was planning to come up with a video of this sort for quite some time, but due to several reasons, I didn't pursue. But then I thought, okay, it's better to do now than not doing at all, and I'm just coming up with this video. Now, the expectation of this video from an audience standpoint must not be to understand what enterprise asset management itself, but what are the problems that organizations face today in the enterprise asset management activities. There are 5 questions that normally I get when I consult organizations about their improvement plans in this aspect of business. Is my EAM program effective enough? The term effective enough is a slightly tricky term because who are you comparing with? Are you comparing with the world-class organizations which have deployed their best-in-class strategies? They are mature in the EAM functions. They have a good management support to nurture their EAM program, and there is a model that always supports their improvement activities. Or are we comparing with other similar organization which is more or less like yours, and they do have similar problems as you're facing. So with whom you're comparing matters in this case. But then we cannot just like that say this, hey, who are you comparing, who you want to compare with. The question is my EM effective enough? So consultants normally deploy a range of strategies. They go over various parameters on their EM activities, like what kind of preventive maintenance they follow, what kind of breakdown maintenance experiences they are facing, their corrective maintenance strategy, their shutdown strategy, their regulatory maintenance strategy, so on and so forth. I mean, there are plenty of parameters that goes into the evaluation of their level or their maturity in terms of their asset management. Now, effective enough. Now, effective enough means that there is a level to which an organization wants to go, and when they reach that standard, they say, hey, our program is a success and we would like to just sustain this, and we don't have much to do, maybe with some minor control improvements we'll be doing, but then the vast majority of maintenance improvements or the asset management dimensions are already taken care by the technology we have, by the processes we follow, and the people that handle both. So this is a broader topic that involves an assessment or a study. Now, the next question I normally get is, what has happened to my investments I've already made in EAM programs? Enterprise asset management is not a buzzword or anything, because almost all asset intensive industries across the world do have an EAM program in some shape or size. But then it comes at a cost. Heavy investments must have gone into deploying an EAM program or a computerized maintenance management system, or paying a consulting organization to evaluate their performances or their levels or their maturity and what have you. So do I have to keep on investing on the EAM programs when I have already invested a lot of money, and I have not got any major breakthrough in terms of results, in terms of reduction of breakdowns, or improvement in my preventive maintenance adherence, or the cost of maintenance itself, for a certain level of production. If I have set a target of I have to have, this is the cost of maintenance, then I couldn't achieve that value. Or even if I achieve that value, I'm not able to sustain it year on year or on a consistent basis. So my answer to this question is like, your investment has not gone as a waste. In fact, it's very much there, but then it is not paying you the interest. So I normally, in a humorous way, your investment is safe, but then it is not paying the interest. The reason why I say this is that, like, the system that you have are not put to the best of use. You can invest a ton of money in having your EAM program, but then is it optimally managed? If it is effectively utilized by the workforce? Those are the two questions you must be asking. If the answer is yes, then you have all the right to ask, what has happened to my investment? A relook has to happen in terms of what has been the effectiveness or what is the utilization of already instituted systems. Now, this statistic is available in public domain. Like, there are a lot of studies carried out by the asset management consultants who came up with a very distressing statistic, which is only 39 to 40% of the organizations that have instituted their CMMS or EAM program are utilizing to the fullest extent, or to the extent that's needed to call it a good utilization. So what about the remaining 60%? It's not that 60% remaining people did not make an investment, or they got any product free of cost, or some consultant gave a service, with no charge. They too have invested in these programs, but it's not utilized. So if the investment that has been already made is not utilized fully, then you're not going to improve anywhere, because you are under an illusion that a mere investment made in a program or a product or a consulting exercise will be the final thing to do and everything will fall in place. No, the answer is no. It has to have a program approach. It should have, for a lack of better term, an evergreen process to support all these interventions. Now, do we have it? Do we have champions that drive these things? These are the questions we normally ask to answer a question, hey, what has happened to my investment in this space? The third question, fine, thanks, I got that. But then where do I go from here? There is a history associated with this. Yes, this is a facility that existed for a number of years. We have had many people who came, who went, who keep coming. We deploy new technologies, we deploy new processes. There are a lot of advisories we get from consultants. We have we have a history. But where are we going? Where are we heading towards? In these kind of situations, my question to them, in fact, I asked the question back to them as, where do you want to go? So the plan, what do you mean by where you want? I wanted to know from you, hey, we are here. Where can I go from here? Do I have the capability to go from where I am? To that question, my answer is yes, provided you want to take steps. What kind of steps you're talking about? Do you want more money? Do you want more investment? No, that's not what I'm asking. I wanted you to relook into what you have done. May not be by you, but by your predecessors, or when the facility itself was commissioned, or your practices, your procedures, your philosophy, your vision in this space. Why don't you have a relook into it? Use your own judgment to come up with a answer, like, have we done well in this space? From the time the facility was commissioned, did they all follow the process correctly? Was it maintained very well? The data that we are having about the assets and their characteristics and their performance, are they acquired well? Are they acquired consistently with no ambiguities? If the answer is maybe I'm not sure, then that's exactly where you need to start your analysis. Get back, just relook into your assets, relook into your records, relook into your processes, relook into all the aspects of maintenance that you're currently doing. Once you do that, you will know where you're going wrong or what is going wrong. And if you correct those areas, then you will find a future, a path to take, which is going to improve your enterprise asset management objectives. Now, this looks like more like a generalistic statement. Hey, I do a self evaluation. Yeah, I know I'm going wrong in certain areas. If I improve in these aspects, am I going to achieve a greater success tomorrow? The answer is no, because asset management improvements don't happen overnight. It takes time. It takes time, right? What improvements you do today, you are going to get the results maybe a few months down the line. And you consistently practice changes for good, then you're going to get improvement values over a period of time. Till the time, you have to trust yourself, trust the work you're doing, and trust the aspects that you're working on, and with an open mind. Never start saying that it's not going to work. I've been doing it for years together. What change can this bring to my systems? I don't have any belief in this. If you start in that mode, then you will be losing sight of the problems you are having, and you are failing to acknowledge them. Trust me, all asset intensive organizations have issues. Very, very few organizations can raise their collar and say, hey, we are the best in the world. Even those organizations have to work really hard to sustain the level of performance. All it takes is one incident, one unsafe incident to wipe out the credibility you have achieved. And the cleanup costs, I don't have to say this enough. We are seeing reports after reports, some plants going up in flames, unsafe incidents. Some get national attention, some get international attention, and this is sort of it's not a sort of a threat I'm issuing to everyone that, hey, if you don't follow asset management practices, you will end up in a disaster situation. But what I'm saying is, you can potentially end up there, because asset management is tightly coupled with your safety and productivity. Now, the next question: how to embrace new technology, in my EM activities? Technology is not going to wait for us. Technology always evolves. It changes, and the change in technology is not exclusively aimed at EAM improvement. In fact, EAM basically derives certain benefits out of the technological changes, and it is applied where it can be for improving the performance. A classic example is in IoT, industrial IoT to be specific. IoT revolves around sensors, the data acquisition, the data cleanup process, the data rationalization, triggers, business rules, and early warning signals, and a follow-up action before something bad really happens. It's a wonderful thing to have. I am not very sure how many organizations have really successfully deployed it and then have improvised their EAM statistics. Many organizations are, in the process of deploying industrial IoT, And because this area is also relatively new, and it takes time for people to adapt to this technology, and there is some technology infrastructure that needs to be instituted to have this program running. I mean, there are a lot of elements associated with it, but whether the organization itself is mature enough to do this, that's a big question. Yes, we know there is an industrial IoT concept. A few organizations have demonstrated it. Some pilots have been successful. We have achieved some results. It's very promising. But is my organization mature enough? Make no mistake, there is a saying, you must learn to crawl before you can walk. If my asset data itself is not correct, if my asset performance data that I acquire from various sources within the system I have is not accurate, there's absolutely no way I'm going to get any benefits out of IoT or analytics or artificial intelligence and what have you. Because many organizations do not even know how many assets they have. There have been cases where there were duplication in asset numbers. There are assets in the system that don't exist on the field, and there are assets that are on the field, but they have not made their way into the system of record, right? So what are we talking about? And this is not a case where one or two assets here and there. It is 10%, as high as 20%, 15%. It is shocking. It is shocking to know these kind of values when we find out during our studies and our consulting exercises. So my suggestion to organization is, do not jump into embracing new technology just because it exists and just because everyone is following it. It's a good idea to have those technologies and it can no doubt improve your performance in asset management. But clean up the basics first. Mature yourself well in getting your CMMS and EAM processes, and then you can embrace the technology. And these technologies are quite impressive, quite robust. They are very reliable, and in days to come, we can expect more and more sophistication in this space, and we must take advantage of this going forward. So what I'm saying is, I'm not saying don't embrace a new technology. What I'm saying is, please get the basics right. Strengthen your EAM infrastructure. The infrastructure, I mean the EAM applications, the asset data, the characteristic data in your EAM system of record, and ensure that there is no duplicate system of record for the assets. Because this is another interesting thing I mean, most often than not encounter. There are multiple systems of record. Hey, which one are you going to take as a master? Which one is the reliable system of record? Right? Is it a good practice to have multiple versions of system of record? The answer is no. So you fail very badly in the basics. So please ensure that you have a consistent system of record, a robust system of record, all the assets registered in that system of record. The term system of record, what I mean is EAM system, right? I'm not specifying any EAM product name here, because almost all the products we have in the market have more or less the same level of capabilities. Now, it is very rich in features. Most of the products which I know of are pretty exhaustive, pretty extensive, with lots of features, lots of items, with a lot of integration capability with third-party systems like predictive maintenance systems, asset performance management systems, manufacturing execution systems, production systems, you name it. And workflows are far more sophisticated the user experience, the look and feel of the product are improved significantly. Trust me, I started as a CMMS developer myself a couple of decades ago, and if I see those screens which I developed, several years ago, these products that we have right now, they're light years ahead, I would say. And also the user friendliness has improved significantly. So here I'm not suggesting one product over the other. Almost all top products, EAM products, have more or less similar set of capabilities and characteristics. And the thing is, like, how much of these characteristics and how much of these features uh, are best utilized, are best used. Has it been configured correctly? Has it been successfully instituted from the characteristic data of the assets, in terms of make, there are plenty of other aspects associated with this thing, and there are no for details associated with record associated with the asset are not in the system, which becomes a sort of a bottleneck when we do an analysis. I'll give an example. There is an organization that has got a lot of motors. It's a process organization, and they have not categorized the motors based on their rating. So they know their failure data. So many motors have failed, but they don't know what category of motors failed, because motors can be AC motors, DC motors, and even within these categories you can have rating differences, or the make is a particular make of a motor is in question, that we don't get good quality motor from this organization, that's causing. With no supporting data, how can you analyze? I'm just giving one example. There are so many examples like this, which I can go on and on this. The last question is, how long will I continue to get consulted in the EM strategy? As long as you want. That's a simple answer. Now, an organization with a good enterprise asset management vision will not require frequent consulting interventions. Why I'm saying frequent consulting interventions? These are the organizations that will start trusting themselves rather than the consultants, because consultants are at best catalysts. They just give their advisory based on their acquired knowledge and the best practices they have acquired through their consulting services, and they give away the good practices, the bad practices followed by somebody, then the process change that they brought about in those places, the craft management improvement programs, the skill level improvement, and the materials management improvement. There are plenty of aspects, right? So the consultants will basically give will show a lot of ideas. They'll give a lot of pointers, but at the end of the day, it is the organization that has to take those pointers, evaluate for its applicability in their facility, and see which aspects can be really deployed in their facility. Not all the advisory the consultants give can be directly deployed in your facility, because your facility or your plant or your site may not have the advantage of certain aspects that the other cases had. For example, a facility which is closer to a bigger city, or a place where a lot of other industries exist, they will not have much problems in procuring items, because over a call, or the time required to get the support, resources, be it vendors or spares, or even the skilled workforce, could be much easier, as opposed to a site which is in a remote location. because the cycle time required to acquire all the resources and sustaining them will be a challenging exercise, right? I'm just giving a simple example. There could be several other constraints that will force you to think that certain aspects can be applied, but certain aspects are not applicable in my facility, even if it is the same type of operation or if it is the same industry. So, what are the items that I can use to the fullest, and what are the items that are not applicable? One has to segregate it and then start deploying it and start getting the metrics, monitor the metrics, and continually monitor the metrics and see if it is improving, it's making any change. Now, what I mean by change is has to be objective. Did my preventive maintenance strategy effective now, or it's not giving any result at all? My preventive maintenance is not reducing my breakdown, right? If my breakdowns are coming down, but then my spares consumption is going up. So all the parameters need to be metricized, monitored, and the CMMS application or an EAM application, I'm using CMMS and EAM interchangeably because the lines are not very thick, that they are two entirely different things. Yes, CMMS and EAM have differences. As CMMS plus your costing and materials management and workforce management and vendor management and life cycle analysis becomes a comprehensive EAM solution. So let me call an EAM solution. So the EAM solution must be a single version of truth. It must be an application that will be used by everyone, right from the CEO to the technician, in managing the asset related data, asset related information, and using EAM as a tool to make decisions based on sound engineering data, based on facts, based on the real spares consumption, materials management consumption, the vendor performance, and the performance of in-house workforce. If this framework is appreciated and understood by the enterprise, and with the blessings of the top leadership and the vision of top leadership to consider enterprise asset management as a profit center and not as a cost center, then you don't need frequent consulting services from advisors and consulting organizations. In fact, you will start becoming a consultant for yourself, because by then you will have that ability to do a lot of internal analytics. I always used to jokingly say, hey, this organization works on natural intelligence, they don't use artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence, they trust a machine, but then these guys start believing in their own people, because they are the ones who know about the system more than a machine could possibly crunch based on the data that the system acquires. So my long story short, no assets, no enterprise, no business. So assets are directly related to business, and these are not cost center, these are profit centers. So with this, I would like to conclude, and I would like to thank all the viewers to appreciate the importance of enterprise asset management, and be positive about making changes, however small it could be, and start building on it and achieve the best result. The intention is to spread an awareness about how important enterprise asset management is, and its role in the longevity of the facility, longevity of the investment, not the investment, it was a mistake, the life of the assets, how it can improve over a period of time, and which will basically optimize all your expenses in the space, so that you can achieve the best possible results. And safety is another key factor which is directly coupled with your enterprise asset management. And good luck. And friends, I would like you to share your comments, your feedback on this, It'll help me to come up with more material on this, and we can make the industrial world a better place. Thank you.